What's up, guys? Give me a second. Put these wings on, and then I'm gonna holla at y'all. On this first episode of Kicking It With Show, I'm calling it The Roots, featuring Olubunmi and me, Olusola. And I just wanted to sit down with somebody who knew me very well. We grew up together and just talk about the things that we went through growing up being in the Nigerian culture. Like she has a more experience in the Nigerian culture than I do. So it was great for me to actually sit down with her and learn more and see that we still have a commonality, even though my experience is a slightly different because of my religious aspect. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know. Holla. Welcome to the first episode of Kicking It With Show. I am your host, Show, and this is going to be strictly about just getting to know people and what they do, how they got to where they are in their lives. And today my first guest is my homegirl, Mimi. How you doing?
What's up?
What's going on with you? So her and I are both Nigerian.
Yes.
Born and bred.
Blessed to be.
Blessed to be, definitely. You were born there too, right?
No, I was born here.
So you're like first generation immigrant.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just figured out my kids are the first generation immigrants.
I mean, that's dope. You know, it's a lot to learn.
That's what I was.
It's different experiences though. Completely different experiences.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, you guys were breaking, I think it was you guys breaking it down to me.
Yeah, it was last week. Last week at your crib.
That my kids were the first generation.
Yeah, you're the immigrant.
And then I'm the immigrant.
Yeah.
And I totally forgot that I was an immigrant.
But you don't be acting like one though.
No.
Not at all. You don't be acting like one at all.
Everybody knows. But yeah, it was just, so this is just us. This is like an overdue conversation, actually.
Definitely. I'm glad that we're able to have it on this platform.
Yeah, it's been a while. I feel like all of us Nigerians, I know each other, especially, I don't want to say the old, like this generation, because I feel like this generation is the younger generation. But the generation that we grew up in, it's very different from what these kids doing now.
Definitely.
You know, there's so much, they have so much more, they're more inclusive than we were. Well, raised up to be.
Yeah.
You know, we were taught to be very separatist. Like oh no, don't hang out with him.
Right, we got the rod.
Yeah.
Like
we got the rod big time.
Yeah,
we got the rod big time.
Yeah. They don't beat him no more.
First, let's get into how we both grew up in our households. How was your household like?
So there's 4 of us. Eldest is a boy. God. And then there's 3 girls. My mom set it up so that it was 2 years between us. So between my older brother and my sister, there's 2 years. Between me and my older sister, 2 years. And then my little sister came 5 years later. Only God knows why. Right. So there's 4 of us.
So what's the gaps again?
It's 2, 2, 2, and then 5.
Damn.
So between me and my younger sister is 5 years apart.
Wow. That's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
That's not that bad. Because my siblings, it's 5. Well, 5 between me and my sister. 9, is it 9 or 8 between me and TT, and then like almost maybe a decade between me and Dare.
You got the nerve to say "damn" for my little bit of 2 years.
You know, because
decade, like what?
Between me and Fumi, it's 5 years.
Yeah, that's a dope relationship to have though. 5 years, I feel like it's a good gap. When you're a parent having kids 5 years apart, no, but like growing up 5 years apart.
Yeah.
Oh,
you got that's my older sibling type shit. Yeah. Definitely. I mean. So what did you? My household is very different from you guys. The way I saw you guys growing up was very different from the way I grew up.
Definitely.
You know, so why don't you speak on how you grew up? And because I feel like yours is a true Nigerian experience. Mine was while mine is tongue tied here. While mine was more watered down, I think.
So we were raised to be disciplined. So you got up every Saturday, you cleaned, all the females cleaned. As soon as you could walk, you were washing dishes as a female. It was very, I guess, female oriented, where it was like, all right, you're going to learn how to do this. You're going to learn how to sew. You're going to learn how to cook. You're going to learn how to clean. We're getting up. We're going to do this. And my grandmother would raise us to be like, you're going to school, period. You're doing homework, period. You're doing all this, period. So we were focused on, my grandmother and my mom focused on us going to school. There was no like slack with that at all. Like I learned how to multiply when I was like 6. Like
I've been telling everybody that they don't play that shit.
Yeah, you learn with your siblings. Like if you learning it, you learning it too. Hell yeah. Like there was no games with that.
People don't believe you when I tell them like, yo, I knew my multiplication tables by the time I was 5.
Yeah, you had to.
You know,
There was no option. What do you
none,
mean? There was no option. Yeah,
ass beat.
yeah, right.
Shit was crazy. Man.
But it was dope. I had, we grew up and we would go to all the Nigerian parties in Boston. My family was very well known. Clicked with a lot of people, met a lot of people. I'm still close with some of them. So I mean, it was a good experience. At that time when I was younger, it changed over time with the things that happened with my family.
What age would you say you started to see a change in the way you interacted with your fellow Nigerians?
I would say like 10 or 11.
Okay.
10 or 11, definitely.
What about that stage
changed
it?
My parents separated, and
Okay.
my whole world changed. Everything changed. Everything changed.
Okay. So that 10, 11 stage, you guys were here, still here.
Right.
My ass was back home.
I mean, why were you back home, Sho? Why were you back home, though?
Hold on. My ass was back home.
But why were you back home, though?
I was one of those, I guess, he ain't listening, so I'm going to take his ass back home, babies.
That's very common for our age group.
Yes.
The younger people don't come to Nigeria no more.
Yeah,
With
don't know.
With our
it's
age
a vacation
group,
now.
It was always, right.
It's a vacation. Like, yo, y'all are really getting vacations.
Yeah.
We didn't get vacations. If you were going home with your family, you were probably going to stay there.
Okay, that was a threat.
That was a threat. Keep acting up. I'm going to send you back home.
You want to go back home, right?
Yeah. You know?
Right,
so
right.
that legit happened to me. I don't think people really understand how much that fucked me up.
Really?
Coming back here.
Coming back.
Right. Going there and coming back it all fucked me up.
So they messed you up going there? Like,
my parents told me it was a vacation.
Ooh, they did that to you?
Yeah,
That's
they
wrong.
did that to me. You know,
wrong.
I'm like, oh, well, we going on
you
vacay. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. And then they pop the question like, what do you think about just staying down here for school and shit? I'm like, my mentality at that time, like, I got to get the fuck away from these niggas anyways. Word. You know what I'm saying? Leave me out here. I'll be all right.
Who'd you stay with when you were out there?
It was my uncles, like family.
Okay.
Uncles and stuff like that. It wasn't like strangers. But I remember I was in dorm too.
Did they treat you good though?
Yeah.
You know how it is. They send you back home. You end up being like the.
Well, you know, when the family that got the bread is paying you on top to look after their kid.
Right. You got to treat them good.
You gotta act right.
That's different. That's different.
Nah, it was all family, and they were all good. They're all good. That's one thing I will say about my family back home. Like, my experience there was not unpleasant.
Right.
You know, it's just dorm life is different from when you're at home.
Yeah.
You know, but you were saying about how that when your parents separated, your life changed in the way you interacted with fellow Nigerians. Now, when I say fellow Nigerians, I'm speaking of the Yoruba people, because that's mostly the people we hung with.
Yeah, there was barely any Igbo people.
Barely.
You
now,
like half Igbo and half.
That
was
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think we should explain to people why we always ask each other, what tribe you from?
Oh, it's all pride. Nigerians have nothing but pride. Yoruba, like the Yoruba tribe, what? We're like, no, we on top. There's more of us than you.
Facts.
We run the government.
We smarter.
See?
Everything.
That's what I'm talking about. You already there.
Mind you, I'm the dumbass nigga. I'm not I wasn't the top tier type nigga.
Didn't matter.
Yeah.
You could be the dumbest person on the block. You're like, I'm still Yoruba.
I'm still Yoruba.
I'm still better than you. What?
Facts.
What?
You're the labor people. You labor workers.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we were the originals.
But you know what's facts.
Yoruba land.
Yeah.
Come on.
Originals.
Right,
You hear that? Originals. You know.
Right.
But it was funny because Igbos are super strong.
But we barely knew them. The Yoruba kept so tight. They
so
didn't like no Igbo in their circle.
None.
Like, it was to the point where, like, if you were married like an Igbo person back then, it was like, oh.
Yeah, you went over there?
It's like you married an Asian.
Facts.
Or you married like something like, yo.
Someone outside.
Legit. That's what it was.
And I will let y'all know, like, we legit all grew up with our parents telling us, you cannot marry anything but a Yoruba person.
Yes. Yoruba. Okay. Why would you want to marry anybody else?
Akata, no. Oh my God, y'all don't understand. This is why I don't fuck with a lot of Africans. That's how we grew up. That mentality of
hella judgmental. What?
We're so much better.
Hella judgmental.
You know, and I was just like, I just couldn't conform to that mentality of I'm better than people.
It's a curse and a blessing though, because it's the reason why you have half of your confidence. Because they instill that they put that in you when you're young. Like, you don't even realize what it is until you get older.
I don't know if they put it in me, because I said our upbringing is very different.
True.
You know, my household was more religious in the sense of, because I grew up Jehovah's Witness.
Which is, I never know. I've never met anybody, and to this day, I haven't met anybody that was Nigerian and a Jehovah's Witness.
Now, that's where I want to tell you there's a whole lot of them. Because back home in Ibadan, my bad. I mean, let me say it properly before the niggas come at me and fuck
they
up.
will too.
You know what I'm saying?
They will too.
You know, when I was living in Ibadan, it was all Jehovah's Witnesses around me. But they were not the same witnesses that grew up here.
like the way they did things was very different. You know, that's why I was able to get baptized, because getting baptized as a Jehovah's Witness is a serious thing. It's like in the Catholicism how to baptize babies without an option.
Right.
When you have the options, like you're really making this solidification that, hey, I'm here to serve you.
How old is that usually?
They try to get you young. They try to get you young.
I don't like that. That's
I don't like
the
that
problem
either.
with religion in general.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just try to. I mean, I got baptized when I was younger too, but I think I was.
It's like a pressure
14,
thing.
13, 14, but it's like you're not old enough to make a decision for
None.
yourself.
You have no
can't-
understanding, and you have to understand in religion, they block you out from all. They make it seem like the outside world is horrible.
Right.
They make it seem like without this religion in your life, you are not going to prosper.
You're not gonna go to heaven. You're
Nothing.
gonna die tomorrow.
Yeah. All
Like,
that.
you're not gonna be accepted anywhere. It's,
Nowhere.
It's everything. That's like, I mean, I grew up Christian, so that's like most religion.
Jehovah's Witnesses and Christianity, there's no difference really. Now that I've done my homework and have come to understand what religion fully is, that's why I would never step inside of a church.
See, that's different for me because I feel like I grew up Christian and then I joined a white garment church.
I don't know what a white garment church is. What's that? I only know my religion. That's why I don't clown other religions.
See, that's crazy. It's hard meeting and I'm like, what? You don't know what Nigerians all know about? So white garment churches.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Spiritual
Like,
Baptist church.
you are to me. You are a true definition of what a Yoruba person is, because you were engulfed in that culture. I
Definitely.
wasn't.
But
I was engulfed in what I was able to participate in.
I was in the culture, but as I grew up, I chose to be more a part of the culture just because A, it's my background, and B, it's just, you know, you grow up Yoruba. It's like you continue looking for it in different things. Like,
Okay.
whether it's culture, whether it's art, whether it's your style, you just look for that Yoruba eye. Or even when I'm watching things, like I watched that R. Kelly stuff and I saw like Nigerian names and I was like, oh, they're Nigerian. Like, oh, they're Yoruba. Or like, you just end up looking for stuff like that.
Yeah, see, that wasn't me at all. When I was over there, I was cool with the fact that I was around Nigerians. Like, okay, cool, because that's what I'm around. I have no other choice.
Right.
You know, it's like that's what I grew up around. But when you're living in a dorm, your experiences differ. I mean, I went to a mixed school, but the boys lived up the hill and the girls lived down the hill.
So that's different for me.
You know what I'm saying? So I grew up around in an all boys dorm. It wasn't mixed enough like how dorms are here and for co-ed and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, and people don't understand the mentality, the culture there is different.
Oh, definitely.
So like here, I might be older than you, but I'm not going to disrespect you crazy.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? The respect is even, you know, but back home, if I'm a minute older than you, you got to like, you're pretty much my slave.
Yeah.
you
You gotta do whatever I say.
Yeah.
That's how it is here too, though.
Yeah, but I don't, nah, nobody does that to me.
Right.
You're not doing that. You're not, we're
I
not
hear
pulling
you
those
talk-
cards.
Yeah,
You're not pulling that card with me over. I'll smack you.
that's
You out your
most
mind.
men in our generation now. They don't want to.
Nah, you're not doing that.
prostrate.
Nah.
Go ballet. None of that. They
Nah,
don't want
nah.
to do none
See,
of that stuff.
Now, if it's an older person I'm prostrating towards, that's different because I understand that's what they know. That's what they expect of me.
When was the last time you actually did that, though?
Whenever I see my father, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because it's still a respect thing.
Definitely.
You know,
Definitely. For your parents.
It's
Definitely.
people of that age, I will give that respect to.
Yeah.
Anybody else? What up, bro? You're not getting nothing else.
That's
You
what-
know, I'm not the ballet to you.
The crazy thing about this conversation is that you were born in Nigeria,
Mhm.
but you're more American than I am, and I was born in America.
Yeah.
There's things that you know and things that you do that's definitely Nigerian.
That would
But-
never leave me.
Your attitude towards people and like Nigerians in general now is different from my attitude towards like people and Nigerians
Explain.
now. You purposely try to stay away from Nigerians, depending on who they are.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'll be around Nigerians all day. They'll get on my nerves. They'll disrespect me. Whatever the case, I'm just there around them.
I see what you mean. It's
Right.
not. I don't want to say it's purpose. It's not that it's purposeful. It's just that I don't know you. See what I'm saying? Like, because when I came back, all of you kind of already grew up around each other, and I was already that kid that people
Was labeled.
already.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
already understood what that label meant. And for me, at that point in my life, I already didn't care about that label anymore because you already know me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You knew the person that left.
But there was plenty of judgment.
There
It
was
was like,
plenty of
don't,
judgment.
don't be like that kid.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who you. I don't even think I knew what your face looked like. And it was like, don't be like Shola.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And the thing is, they would not have known any of that if my family had not said negative things about me.
That's not true though, because Nigerians like to talk. God forgive
Oh,
me,
of
like to
course.
talk.
Gossiping
So
is our lifestyle.
Even if your mother was like distraught, or she was just like, I sent my son to Nigeria because I wasn't sure, what he was going through. I sent him to Nigeria, or whatever. And she was honestly telling somebody else how she felt, not saying
they're gonna
like
flip it.
exactly.
Or they're gonna flip
and
it.
they're gonna spread it.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
even if it wasn't your parents, like even if it was
somebody else, third party.
exactly,
Of course.
exactly.
You
That's
know,
what
but-
sucks about it.
As a kid, you look at it like that's your parents talking shit about you.
Absolutely. To this day, you will.
To this day,
Yeah, you can't change
I'm not
that.
believing nothing you tell
Because
me.
even if it wasn't the case, just because you spoke about it,
Yeah,
knowing
you
your
spoke
people,
about it.
you know how they are. You still
Exactly.
get anyway. Yeah,
Exactly.
still
And
your
that's
fault.
the main thing. You know how our people are.
Yep, and it's
They're
still your
gonna
fault.
flip it. They're not here for the greater good.
Yeah, 'cause they want because like, they're competitive. They want their kids better than your kids.
Of course,
all the time.
Oh
All
my
the
God,
time.
that was the worst thing for me is hearing why can't you be like that person, comparing us
My mom
when
used to
we're
do
nothing
that.
like each other at all.
My mom used to do that to us when we were younger. Why can't you be like these person's kids? And then those kids grew up to be hoes. And
Yeah.
we were like, you want us to be like them now?
Yeah, you want
Now?
me to do like that?
Oh, okay.
That's what you want? Yeah,
You're awfully quiet
yeah.
now. Oh, okay.
Awfully quiet.
Right.
Awfully quiet. You see
Right.
what they did,
She
right?
was heated when I said that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
It's that thing that was the biggest thing for me when I came back was just seeing how people interacted with me. That's what made me distant.
People that you were friends with before. or
Before,
just-
even to this day, I don't hang out with I don't hang out with any of them. Like we grew up together. Like we used to go to each other's houses. We used to ride bikes together. We used to do all of that shit.
That's
Now
wild.
it's like I don't even know you.
That's wild.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like I'm a grown man. I have a family. I still see you. I see your lifestyle on the gram and all of that, and I'm happy for you.
Right.
But it makes me question a lot of things inside of me, like where did this go wrong? You know what I'm saying?
That could happen with anybody, though.
anything.
Yeah, I don't think
Anything.
it's just a thing just because it's Nigerian and you.
No. I think that was just life. Like when I came back,
Right.
a lot of things had changed,
Right.
and
Right.
then I didn't go to school out here at the same time.
Right.
I need to stay in Boston, and I feel like my parents purposely kept me away from the inner city for a reason.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why, but that's on them. Which obviously hindered my relationships with other people that were
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. You were
I was
there and
distant.
you weren't there.
Yeah.
It was like you
You
came
know?
back and you still weren't there.
I
No
still
one was
wasn't
sure.
there.
Yeah. No one was sure if you were back or not.
Nobody. If you
Yeah.
saw me, you was like, oh, he's back.
Right.
You
For
know?
vacation. He's going
Vaca-
back. You would think you were here to stay. He's like, he's just here for vacation. It's holiday.
Oh my God,
Holiday.
man. It was crazy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
explain to me, like, what was the cultural difference between you, our lifestyle, and what you saw from somebody who wasn't African?
Oh, you noticed it right away. Like, even as a child, you noticed that you couldn't do sleepovers. There was certain food you couldn't eat. They would wake up and be like, oh, did you watch this cartoon on Saturday morning? It was like, what? I cleaned. In my parents' room, my siblings' room, whatever. Oh, what'd you do on Sunday? We went shopping. I was like, I went to church. Like, you realize that you're growing up in a structured household with discipline at an early age.
Yeah.
At an early
Yeah.
age. Even if you don't know what discipline looks like, you learn it ahead of time.
Ahead of
Period.
time.
Like, you know that when you're done with your plate, you better take that thing to the kitchen.
Immediately.
You know that before you eat, your mom makes the plate for your father. You bring it to your father on the platter
Oh,
before
yeah.
anybody else
Oh, yeah.
eat. He got to eat. Man of the house, provider, all that
always
stuff.
first.
Right.
Always first. See, now, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
In my house, none of that was going down.
That's crazy. What?
None of that was going
What?
down.
My
My
father
mom
comes
definitely
home-
gave my food to my pops first,
Right.
but I never grew up having a clean or that because I always had my own space.
Did your sisters clean?
Not that I remember of. No, not that I remember.
So your mom cleaned the whole house?
No. I'm sure they clean. But it wasn't like, oh, wake up and do this. Because I remember watching cartoons on a Saturday morning.
We could if you got up early enough, or if you knew you were gonna clean afterward.
We always had to clean like our own personal spaces.
Wow, never.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Or my dad would be like, oh, clean up the living room. Like my mom really wouldn't have to do all of that. Because you have to also understand my parents both worked a lot. So a lot of times, I don't know about your family, but I was left with my sisters a lot.
Right.
So we had to take care of the crib. So I learned how to cook. That's why I know how to cook. I know how to do all of that at a young age.
Because you were forced to.
Because I was forced because they had to go to work. So, I had to take care of things. Not like take care of things, but like, hey, make sure you feed your sisters. I mean, we're making rice at the age of 9.
That's real.
That's real.
You better know how to make some
You know
rice.
what I'm saying? I'm making noodles and all
Right,
that shit.
right.
Like, that's just things you just had to do.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, but when I left in Nigeria, I didn't have to do none of that stuff. Sundays, I would go to my aunt's house, to my uncle's house, whatever, and they would already have food there ready.
So when do you guys worship?
Witnesses it's 3 times a week. It's this is what it was normal for me was Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then Sunday is like the main what you guys would call a mass.
So you would go to your aunt's house before or after the mass?
This is
mass.
before like Sunday. Let's say I went home Saturday night.
Okay.
Right. So I would sleep there, whatever, and then Sunday morning. I would get up, get ready. We would have breakfast, and she would cook rice and beans and like fish and shit, like a big ass meal
For breakfast.
for breakfast. Like I'm gonna stay up for 3 hours and hear this motherfucker talk about God and not go to sleep.
Right.
Like
You
fam,
full hell.
I'm full of and they be like, don't eat the whole thing. Eat half now. Eat half. I'm like, nah, this is mad good. I need all this right now.
Too late.
Too late. And it wasn't like we took a car there. We were walking up a hill
Ooh.
in suits.
Ooh.
In a bag.
Ooh, in the Nigerian
heat.
Ooh.
You know, it's not humid, but it's hot.
Oh, yeah.
So you're sweating the entire way
Oh, yeah.
to the hall.
That sounds on you.
And then you got to sit down with all that food in your stomach and listen to this nigga talk for 4 hours.
Still sweating.
Still sweating.
There's
no AC.
Right. Ever. You might got a fan. There's always a sound of the fan in the background. They always got a fan.
Oh, my God. That was, you get the breeze sometimes. You know,
that hard ass breeze.
I would tell you in the 3-4 years that I was there, there was not a Sunday that passed that I was not standing in the back of the hall or outside of the building just trying to cool off, wake myself up. You know, they'd be like, go stand outside. You sleeping. And I'm like, of course I'm sleeping.
Right.
All right, cool. I go stand outside. I'll stand outside and walk around the building because I can still hear the sermon going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the main thing.
That's wild that you like. You went to church 3 times a week?
No, only one time when I was back home.
Okay.
It was
So you
every
didn't
Sunday.
go.
It
Okay.
was here when I was here, and then when I came back, it was 3 times a week.
I never would have known that you went to anything religious.
Because I never behaved. But see, that's the thing. I never understood that. Like, how is a religious person supposed to behave?
That's true.
You know?
As a Nigerian, there's a certain way, though. You know that.
Explain that. I don't know that.
What do you mean you don't know that? You can look at a Nigerian person, and they can be like the most controversial person. And talk about God all the time.
Yeah, nah, that wasn't me.
You can look at the woman. The woman then had what's considered controversy in the Yoruba culture. Like she got 3 kids by 3 different men. She's like, God will provide. Or she's like, she walk around the house. She got the little water. She done prayed in. She throwing the water. She blessing the house or whatever. Or she's talking about God all the time. And you know you just look at her and you're like, I know you go to church. Because I feel like Nigerians who don't go to church don't talk about God as often. Only when it comes to their successes or their failures. They'll start crying, God help me. Why? This thing.
Yeah.
Jesus, why?
Yeah. Jesus, why?
Yeah. But
See,
I feel like people who are religious talk about God all the time. They incorporate it in somewhere.
I didn't do that because I don't like hypocrisy at all.
But you gotta understand, everyone's a hypocrite.
No, that was the thing. I know I'm the hypocrite.
But you can still talk about God and be a hypocrite.
No, but see, that wasn't the way that I was going to present myself. Hold on a second.
I hear you. I hear that.
Yeah, that wasn't the way I was going to present myself.
Right.
Because I know what I'm doing outside. I know how I'm acting. I know how I'm moving. You know what I'm saying? So it's like me using God. First of all, I never heard that I was a Jehovah's Witness. It's just that I never went around preaching to people.
Right.
I wasn't trying to turn you over. I wasn't trying to say this is the right way. This is the true religion. Nothing that.
People in your religion definitely do.
And I would see these niggas. I'm like the same niggas that would be in the hall preaching heavy.
Right.
Are the same motherfuckers who are doing way worse the shit than I'm doing.
Right.
And I'd be like, this makes no sense to me.
Yo, the closer you are to God, the more trouble you gonna do.
Yo,
period. I don't care what anybody say, because you're gonna be more tempted. I don't care what nobody. It was like, oh, I'm so close to God, I'm able to escape temptation. That's a whole lie.
That's a whole lie.
It's a whole lie.
You're
gonna do worse stuff.
You is wilding out here.
See, but my understanding of religion and God is that yes, you're gonna do all that stuff, and the temptation's gonna come, and you're going to fail and fail again.
Always.
But you just gotta remember that you have relationships with somebody, and you gotta build on that.
Yeah.
And people don't see it. They see it as like, oh, I gotta be holy to go to church. It's like church is like a hospital for the sick.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You're gonna be sick forever with this sin, or however people see it.
This
or
is a
whatever.
place to lift those burdens off your shoulders.
Right, and just communicate with people. And just be around people who are like that, who have, a shared interest. My church family that's my family, period. I call them my cousin, I call my brother, my sisters, aunties.
Nah, see in the way I grew up in a witness congregation, and I'm not gonna speak for everybody. I'm gonna speak on my experience with being the Jehovah's Witness. It was all negative. Nothing about it was positive. Matter of fact, it almost destroyed me.
You have to have some kind of glimpse of something that was good from that religion.
Nah, if anything, if you're saying if we're gonna say that, then I would say the positive thing that I learned is just how to maneuver. Amongst people And I mean, they give you the foundations, but I feel like our culture gives us the foundation too.
Yeah.
You know, it's all
Yeah.
it's all interchangeable.
Definitely.
You know, so the respect, how to talk to people,
Right.
you know, presentation, all of that. I learned all of that.
Right.
But that's also cultural too.
Yeah.
That's how we were taught to. That's how we were raised.
Yeah.
You know, you need to present yourself properly at all times.
Yep.
You need to be on point at all times.
Yep.
You know, so that's why I feel like both of those things go hand in hand. But religion for me, as a Jehovah's Witness, it was just negative because it got between me and my family.
I see why you're saying that.
See what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
they chose that, and it wasn't even that they chose the religion; they chose the pressure that they were put under
From the people.
from the people in the congregation, and try to put that onto me.
Yeah, that's
instead
wild.
of realizing the type of person I was, they wanted me the person that would fit in to that religion.
Who people thought you were going to be.
Yeah,
Or should be.
what they wanted me to be, not who
Yeah.
I was.
But that's also a cultural thing as well.
yeah, but see, that's why it never worked for me.
Yeah. I
And
hear
that's
you.
why the negative connotation of my name
Mm-hmm.
would come in. You know, yet where I'm at now, nobody would expect that to be the person I am.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
So when people speak on when I look at Jehovah's Witnesses, to me religion, nothing against yours,
Mm-hmm.
is a cult because they put a certain mindset in you, and to look outside. I know people who have left the religion, and they're distraught. They just don't know what to do with themselves because when you're disfellowshipped
Mm-hmm.
in a Jehovah's Witness, which means like you're kicked out. You know what I'm saying? They can't talk to you. Your family can't fuck with you. None of that shit.
That sounds like Scientology.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like,
That's what it is.
yeah.
They're very similar.
Right.
People who grew up in it, who only people that they know, because they told you not to even have friends outside of the religion.
Yeah, that's
It
cult
puts
like.
it puts you in a bad mind state.
But you're letting that affect how you feel about religion in general. But that's only experience with. Like, have you tried Buddhism? Have you tried?
But see, that's why I
Catholicism?
don't
Have you
say I'm
tried
religious. I
Christianity?
say I'm spiritual.
I hear
Because
you.
all of those things I have encountered. I have opened my mind up to take what I need to help
From
me.
each.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
that's what I
I
take.
agree 100% with that.
You know, I can
100%.
never say, oh, I'm this or I'm that. No. I'm gonna take what I need, what is gonna help me out to become a better person.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna say,
Exactly.
okay, a little bit of this, a little
Right.
dash of that. Okay,
Right.
cool.
Right.
You know, because
Right.
all teachings, I'm not sure if it's truly true.
There's no way to confirm
No
it
way-
or deny it
and-
either.
and
That's the
the
thing.
fact that I don't have confirmation, I'm just taking the word of mouth.
That's religion, though.
That's why I'm
There's-
good on
yeah,
it.
no one can confirm or deny
See what you
anything.
just said?
Yeah.
That's religion because it's word of mouth.
Yeah, I hear you.
There's no firm foundation on
Of
it.
course not.
It's all belief and faith.
Yeah.
I have that, but at the same time, I'm gonna need something a little more viable before I jump over the bridge. You know what I'm saying? You know how I am. You know? So we all jumping. Why we jumping again?
Right.
So
What
we gonna-
time? What time we
taking
going?
this pill. Are we sure we're gonna be in heaven? I
Right.
just wanna admit, so you go first.
I'm gonna take yours first, and
You let
I'm
me
gonna
know.
watch. I'm gonna see what time.
You send me a message.
Right,
we'll
right,
figure this out. I'm not gonna just kill myself off just because
Right.
our God told us to. No, my nigga. Mm-mm.
See, in my family, because we were women, it was keep her as virtuous as possible. So you had to be in church. Like, to have 3 girls, and my sisters, we all look different. My older sister, she's taller, smaller chest. She has no hips, got butt. Most sisters built similar like her.
Yeah.
I'm built completely different. So mom was always worried, like, yo,
I don't know what to do.
wait, right? She's like,
Lord.
wait, like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? So I went to different churches it was all Christian based. My mom grew up Muslim though.
Okay.
So some of her teaching, she brought out, like, we never had like pork or anything in the house. There were certain things that she did that
She was
or
kosher.
right.
Yeah.
So she brought that on to us. But the church that I am in now, the religion that I am in now, it is disciplined. I'm sure in different, like in Nigeria, it's more strict. Here it's not so much.
That's expected though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's where it was founded, and that's where it's
That's
strongly
expected.
believed. Here it's you just worship God.
Okay.
My pastor don't care about who my friends are. He says hi to all my friends all the time. He asking about them.
Yeah, that's cool.
You don't care what religion they are or
That's-
nothing like
I
that.
don't judge nobody's religion.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's like when I went back home and I saw how some white garment churches, because there's different denominations of white garment churches,
Okay.
and I saw how strict their pastors were. I was like, this is not
It all depends on
Cults,
who
like,
the leader is.
definitely.
Who's the
like,
head in charge.
you got to come Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you miss one day, where the hell were you? It's like,
Nigga, who the fuck is you?
right.
You ain't
Like,
paying no bills here. I'm paying you.
to the point, like, if you got sick, you didn't take medicine. You only took the holy water from church. You got to call the pastor. Like, bro, my pastor called me like, yo, take medicine. My
God.
pastor don't care. He's like, yo, You sick? Take that medicine though. My pastor don't take the medicine. Take whatever you need to do. I'm gonna pray for you.
That's a pastor that cares.
But that's exactly, and that's all you need.
That's it.
My pastor really came into my life at a time when I really needed like a father figure and someone that I could talk to. And I will always love my pastor.
See, that I respect.
Whatever he needs from me, and I can give it him.
Yeah, I can respect that because he's actually trying to help you become a better person.
Definitely.
You know, see, that's good. See, that's why when I was, I'm going to church, I don't say nothing to you because I know obviously if you wasn't gaining anything positive from there,
I wouldn't go.
You wouldn't go.
You know me.
Yeah,
I'd be
you're
like,
not gonna waste your time.
All right,
you're not gonna waste your time.
I'm gonna be at the crib, be in my bed, sleeping.
You had said earlier that when your parents separated,
right,
it changed a lot for you.
Definitely.
So I've never encountered Nigerian couples that separated or even saw how their life was during the process or after. Mm-hmm. So why don't you explain to the listeners what it's like to live in a divorce household in Nigerian culture?
So I'm going to be completely transparent in this because I don't want no questions to be, in the background, people wondering stuff. We grew up in a household, like I said earlier, that we used to go to parties all the time. People knew my family. Yeah. We were known, and we were part of the known families. Now, my father started having an affair with my mom's friend, who was Nigerian.
Sounds like a movie. Was
it? Okay. This is somebody whose house that we used to go to constantly. She was somebody who was close. We were close with the kids. Called each other cousins and all that stuff. You know how we do.
Yeah.
And he started having an affair with her, and the relationship changed with my mother and father. There was definitely some domestic violence that got involved in that. But it became a situation where outside people knew, and so less and less people started coming to our house. My mom used to cook. We used to play music. Everybody would come to our house. It got to the point where there was nobody.
Because they all knew what was going on.
Right. And they kept their kids away. So I had all these friends who were Nigerian when I was younger, and now we're older. I see them like, it's cool, but we're not cool because we didn't have the chance to actually like build
that bond. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, of course, they had people come over and try to talk to my parents and talk to my mom, which I don't like. This is what always messes me up. They went to my mom. And they were like, you have to keep the family together. Bible in the hand, like.
It's always the woman. Always the woman.
It was like, wait, my mom did nothing but take care of her kids and work. And they came over like, they tell us when you are young that these men, they'll leave the house, but they'll come back. You have to be the one to keep the family. My mom was sitting there like, because it's one thing to be raised like that. Because if it was somebody else that was going through that, my mom would probably understand. And she'd probably be one of those people who go over and be like, keep the family together. But when you're going through that pain and that betrayal, my mom would kick people out the house. My mom was violent with people. She's like, get them out of my house. Like, I have 4 kids.
Yeah, she's stressed.
I'm struggling to raise them.
Yeah.
He ain't bringing in no income.
Nothing.
And
so he was that type of father when he left.
Yeah, he wasn't really trying to. He was spending money on other things, sending stuff home or spending money on the woman that he was with.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. And my mom just like, she tried her best.
So did your family take a hit in the Nigerian, in our environment, how do I say this? In the neighborhood, like the status wise?
Yeah, in the village, we call the village, the Yoruba village, definitely. My father would spread rumors about my mother. My mother won the lottery, like $5,000. Like, she had some numbers or whatever. She got a car. And at the time, my father wasn't around. I don't know where he traveled to, and he came back. And he was telling everybody, oh, she spent all the money. She didn't even no money. He would spread lies about her, and people believed that stuff.
I really have a problem with that.
We
do that. Our culture does that so much.
It was like everything was literally on my mom. And at the time that this is happening, my mom has 4 kids. My little sister has eczema and asthma. Our place flooded. It was like an assortment of things that were happening, and she had to carry that, all of that pressure. And people weren't really calling her. My mom lost all her friends. Some of them came back, like a few of them came back, but at one point she had nobody. She would just lay in the bed
because of this man. Just destroyed her life.
And because she loved him too. It's beyond just like destroying my status and losing my friends and my family. It's like, I trusted you. Yeah. I had 4 kids for you.
Yeah,
we're supposed to be together.
Yeah,
like, and then you did this to me. Like,
I would have said, fam, if you leaving shorty, cool, but don't destroy her name. Don't destroy her status.
But that's how Nigerians do it, because they got to make it seem like it's not their fault. And then my father was trying to come around. Man. My mom got fed up. She took him to court. She was like, "You gonna pay child support?
Hell yeah!
Gonna be visitation."
See, that I don't know. I agree with.
Oh, she had to.
Yeah.
There was 4 of us.
It's 4. Yeah. If you're not doing your job as a man and taking care of your family, but you trying to down your family,
right?
Like, nah, fam, you paying the child support, bro.
At the time, I think I was 10. My little sister was 5. My older sister was, she was 12 or 13, and my brother was like 15. And this is what when I talk about divorce, and people always talk about like, yeah, I went through that too. It's a divorce. I'm like, it's different for your household. I'm sure it's different for every household.
Yeah, but for you, how did it affect you?
So for kids, for me, I was wild. After that, I was the middle child, so I was always trying to be up. Like, don't look at me. Like, I'm in the corner. Here's my grades. I got A's. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't want no beating. I don't want none of that. No trouble.
I'm doing my thing.
But after that, I was wild. I was in the street all day. Like, I was fighting all the time. Fighting all the time. Like,
what hood you grew up in?
Come on, I was around though. I was around. Like, I was in Roxbury, Dorchester. My mom had to move around a few times because of the divorce and everything that was going on.
To find her place.
So exactly. So it was different. It was different hoods, but I was very violent, and what I realized in the culture. It depends on how you grow up. That's how it affects divorce. So my brother was the firstborn.
Okay.
He was spoiled. Still spoiled. And so when the divorce happened, he joined my father and blaming my mother for the father leaving. That's what I'm saying. But you have to understand the way he was raised.
True.
It was like the father was the hero. You're a man. You're a man. So if someone's telling you you're a man, you're gonna follow. It's like you telling Elijah you're the man in the household. You're the man. He's gonna look towards you because that's the only example he has of a man.
True.
Only person in the house.
Yep.
So my brother was looking at my father like, okay, this is the man I'm trying to follow example. And I think my brother blamed because he wasn't getting as spoiled anymore. And he actually had to do things. People were like, oh, you have to be responsible. It messed with him because he never had to be responsible. Because Nigerians like to treat the men.
No, don't say that because I didn't grow up like that.
Well,
what?
Well, you had brothers.
I had 2 sisters and my younger brother, but I would say for me, I don't say I was spoiled. I can say that my parents, like I tell my parents all the time, they did their job to be parents. Like I wouldn't call them, like I had a father and a mother. I didn't have a mom and a dad. See what I'm saying?
That's a whole lot of separation when you say it like
that. I have separation issues.
Yeah, that's definitely stuff. Saying father and mother and saying dad and mom.
When I say father and mother, I look at it like you did your job. You clothed me, you fed me.
Right.
You did all that. All the necessary things on the list, you check off.
There's no like
emotional development.
Yeah,
Like you didn't really get to know me as a person. You didn't care to, like you didn't know how to deal with me. You didn't really get to know me as who I am.
And that's the problem with our culture.
Yeah.
That we raise generations like that. Because literally, as a parent, when you marry somebody, you got kids, your responsibility is to make sure the child in school, they're clothed, they're fed, and that's pretty much it.
That's
like,
it.
Emotional, how you grow up, emotionally, how you become as a person, besides being God-fearing or doing good in life, is you.
It's all you, but you gotta figure that shit out on your own.
Right, and you would get beaten for trying to express yourself or... They didn't even realize that you were trying to... They didn't even know what you were doing. They were just like, he's acting out. But it could be just trying to figure out who you are. And instead of them being like, let's sit him down and figure out what the hell's going on. It's like...
Never did that.
Y'all going to Nigeria. Like, you would get beaten.
Yep.
My mother was like that, and she's not like that.
Okay.
It depends on the situation. It was on how she's feeling at the time as well. But...
Bro, mood is everything.
Everything,
mood is
especially
everything.
For a Nigerian woman. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay.
Yo.
So my mom was very embracive of her girls trying. She wanted us to be something. Her first thing was education all the way. After that, it's like whatever you feel, whatever you're going through, we'll address that. But how your grades though? Like what you doing? Because her thing was, this is before my father and after him. It was like, any man can leave you. The only thing you're going to have is your education. You need something to fall back on at all times. Like, you need to be able to support yourself, support your kids. My mom went to college. Mm-hmm. You know, my father went to college, too.
They drew that in us.
Right.
So, yeah.
And so, especially after my father left, it was like, oh, you're definitely all school. I don't care what you do. My mom would come. I'd be in the street. I'd skip school. My mom would come find me. She knew all my hangouts. She'd be like, we are going to
Hey,
school.
at least your parents did that, man.
My mom was about it. What?
Yeah, that wasn't going on
in between my mother trying to beat that woman's ass and raising 4 kids, I don't know where she got the time to sleep. Okay?
I think that's why a lot of men respect the single moms thing. Because I can just if you yourself were 4 and you're the middle child, putting your mom through that, I can just imagine now African Americans or all other Africans going through the same thing, and it's just the moms.
It's different with them too, because at least with me, I still have my respect. I respect my elders at all times.
Always.
You didn't see me you didn't hear about me in the streets slutting off. None of that. I was not that. I wasn't that girl child in their upper culture.
Okay.
And there was a few.
Oh,
at the time.
Oh yeah.
But
I
couldn't do that to my mom, and I couldn't do it to myself. Only because I as soon as I hit puberty, I knew what I looked like, and I was like, can't be that one. I know. People are already.
That would have been an easy target.
People are already assuming I'm like, oh, so I'm like, I'm not gonna prove you all right, but I definitely was the one that was fighting all the time. All the time.
That's fine with me. Like the fighting, that's cool. At least you know how to defend yourself.
I mean,
business.
It was cool until I got to the point where I found the woman my father had left my mother for, and I beat her ass, and it was like, yo.
Oh, you went after her?
Oh yeah, I beat her ass. I whooped her ass.
Step it up, yo. That's what I'm talking about.
Come
That's
on,
what I'm talking about.
Ass. Whooped her ass.
Yeah.
My father's like, you're going to jail. I was like, send me.
Send me.
Send me. Yo.
I'm gonna beat ass again before I go.
At that time, he wasn't doing nothing for me.
Yeah.
My father was like, he went to court. They went to court for child support, and he claimed he was only making a certain amount at the time, so he was paying like $114 a month for 4 kids.
Damn, that's trash.
I spent more than that a month on ginger ale. You hear me?
Oh my god, that's trash, yo.
So I was like, you ain't doing nothing for me. But it was after that it was like my mom was trying to get back into the Nigerian culture. That's all you know here.
That's
You're
it.
referring to here. So when all that was going on and she had disappeared, and people were believing my father, they started believing her after a while because they saw what he was doing. She tried to start going the parties. She tried to bring us around too because she knew that we were isolated. But after that, they were like, nah, Bumi can't come. Bumi can't come to no party. Okay. She can't come here.
Because you swung on.
They would literally tell her don't bring Bumi, because my mom would go to the parties and fight the woman, and you and her, it's like tag team. Y'all both can't come.
Like, nah, you gonna handle business. Right
we gotta watch one of the others. She's younger, more energy.
Go like, yo, why can't you just swing on homeboy? I'm like, at the end of the day, you can't really swing on a dude because he's not gonna do too much damage, but you can damn sure fuck up the shorty. You know what I mean? So I respect it. I'm like, and you messed up my family. Fuck out of here, yo. Right. Now I put the blame fully on the man. But at the same time, as a woman, I'm like, why would you? You said she was your mom's friend too, right? Yeah. She deserves to get ass.
Absolutely, you're my
Absolutely.
friend. About my family around you, about my husband around you. Like I would help you. Our kids are friends.
Hell yeah, she deserved every ass whooping.
Oh my gosh.
I hope y'all still giving her ass whoopings.
My mother whooped her ass at least 3 to 5 times.
That's beautiful.
Went to the party, knocked her gilly off her head.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? that call to action, like I'm coming for you. Like,
but that, it was a friend that destroys the family. Yeah, every time I see you, it's on site.
Definitely,
Gotta be on site.
Definitely.
I mean, now that you're grown, looking back on that whole situation, how has it helped you grow as a person?
I was only able. I saw the woman recently.
Okay.
And I finally talked. I never talked to her. I never greeted her. That was the one disrespectful thing that I did. Cause I usually greet everybody.
Yeah.
I wouldn't greet her for nothing. Didn't look at her in her eye, nothing like that. It's only recently that I did that. But
And how was that conversation?
It was quick. It was hi, hello. How you? I didn't bend. Okay. I didn't bow. Nothing. It was just like.
No, she don't deserve that. She don't.
It was one of those
Yeah.
Almost like the lips open, but she didn't speak.
Yeah, that's just the head nod. Yeah, what up?
That's
the best.
But my mom at the time we were younger, she definitely begged us to be good children. Call your father. Say hi to her. I'm like, but you just whipped the ass last week. You want me to say hi to her with the black eye you gave her, or? But it made I feel like this is another thing with divorce. Divorce in an American household nowadays, it's like the mother's bitter and it passes on to the kids.
Yeah.
And the kids carry that with them. And the mother doesn't realize the kid is carrying that with them all their lives. So when they meet partners or potential people that could actually love them, they're already guarded because they see what their mother went through. And that's a part of me as well. I think it's the reason why I won't. I want to get serious with somebody, but I kind of won't because I'm like,
attachment issues.
I don't exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, and it's like I don't want to go through that. But it also helped me to realize that you don't have to be that bitter person like everybody else is. My mom had her pain, and we saw her pain. We saw her cry and everything, but she would make us call our father. And I feel like
she still wanted you to have that relationship with him because he's still your father.
Yes. Even if he didn't call us, it was call your father. You know what I'm saying? That's.
Yeah, I ain't calling nothing. I'm very.
It got to the point where we didn't, but now that I'm older and I see my father and I talk to him, I kind of wish I wasn't so angry with him.
Okay.
because I would like to, even if they divorced, I have a father still.
Still,
A lot of people can't say that. A lot of people's fathers passed away, or they left them and don't even like acknowledge them, or worse, where they just there's no knowledge of any father at any time.
no time.
And I have good memories of my father, very good memories, and he taught me a lot about being strong and learning, make sure that you learn. And me and him have the same humor. Every time we see each other, we laugh.
Okay.
Same humor, and it's like it's still weird to
You're
me.
a child.
I mean, that's
Similar,
what it comes down
you
to.
know?
Yeah.
I think that's where you and I differ in our upbringing, in the sense that I don't know if I ever looked up to my father in the sense of this is the man I want to be, but because the way I treat women is because is the way he treated my mom.
That's a good thing,
Which
right?
is a good thing. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's the only thing that I ever saw from him that I was like, because we never had the birds and the bees. He never spoke to me about shorties, nothing like that. That's not a conversation you have.
Yeah.
You know, so all I saw was, besides what I saw on the streets and you know how niggas move,
Right.
you know, it's just that, okay, this is your woman, you treat her accordingly.
Right.
You know, so that's one thing I give my pops on, and the way I treat my wife now is just, you treat her with respect. You handle what you need to handle as the man of the household,
Yep.
all the other shit.
Yep.
So it got, like, for me, being married now and having a wife, it's like, okay, I realize that I'm doing the same things that my father did. You know, I'm behaving the same ways, and don't raise your voice at your lady. You don't do that. You try to put her at ease as much as possible.
Control.
You know, she can be the wild one all day.
Yep, you have the control.
Yeah.
You're the man of the house. You're supposed to have the control.
You know, you don't ever lose the control.
Right.
If she's wild, that's fine. That's what my father used to say. Women are gonna be erratic. That's their job, to be erratic. It's our job as men to keep a level head at all times.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that wholeheartedly? That all women are erratic?
Yeah, I do believe all women are erratic.
Jesus Christ.
I do believe, but
Yeah.
it's not. But it's levels to erraticness.
Okay, because I'm like,
No. So that's the thing. Like dealing with the amount of women that I've dealt with, there's levels that I won't tolerate. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, the reason you're this wild is because nobody prior to me told you this is not the way to communicate to somebody.
But you also have to understand it, because you're so calm. Every girl you deal with is going to be erratic, because they're not going to be at the level of your calmness unless they're absolutely calm like you.
I don't need you to be as calm as me. I'm calm because I know if I get upset, I'm gonna fuck you up. You know, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't. There's no reason for me to have to want to put my hands on you. I'd rather just go.
Right.
And to even get to that point, why are we getting to the point where we have to put hands
Right.
on
At
each
that point,
other?
we don't need to be together.
We don't need to be together.
Yeah, we don't.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not healthy.
When I saw growing up with African American, Spanish people, and everything around, I've seen African men hit their women.
Right.
I mean, we saw that all the time. We saw that growing up.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yes.
I've seen husbands beat their wives.
Yes.
That is a cultural thing that is acceptable in our culture.
Yep.
Which
To
is
this day.
wrong.
To this day.
To this day.
Yeah, because women are seen as property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and I never saw that. That's why I think with marriage, I never saw myself being married. If it wasn't for the way that my mom and my dad are in their relationship, that I was just like, okay, I guess I could deal with it.
So that's good. You took something beneficial from that.
Yeah. No, I would
Yeah.
like, when it comes to that, I give my parents props for giving me a blueprint that I can follow that's positive.
Right.
That's the only thing that I give them. Anything else, I don't give them, because I had to learn the hard way. You know, my quote unquote upbringing, they didn't know me. They wanted me to be somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, and I couldn't be somebody else. And because I wasn't that person that they envisioned, they threw me away.
The sad thing about that was that even if you did be that person they wanted you to be, they still wouldn't know you.
Still wouldn't know me.
Because that's not the true you.
That's not the true you.
Yeah.
And that's
wild.
and that's my biggest problem with cultures that behave like that. It's because in religion it was like that. I saw a lot of dudes who were unhappy being a witness, but because it made their families happy, they just did that, and I saw them die slowly.
Oh, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I didn't
just
grow up like
die.
that. I wasn't.
You know?
It wasn't like that for me. It was be who you're gonna be, but you have.
You ever seen a man defeated? Like, if one year you're a skinny, good-looking young man, the next year you fat as fuck, you're defeated to me.
I hear that. And we saw that a lot. Saw that a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
you're defeated to me.
Yeah, because you get settled and you get comfortable in that misery.
Yeah, in that misery.
You get
Like, I
settled.
can that's suicidal to me. That's a mental suicide.
Definitely a form of suicide. I agree.
You know what I mean?
Slow suicide.
Slow
too, which
suicide.
is like the worst.
I'm
Yeah.
not doing that to myself.
Yeah.
There's no way I could do that where I'm waking up every day and I know this does not make me happy.
Right.
This is not helping me become a better person.
Right.
I have to go here and do this thing just because these people want me to do it, and I can't be myself.
People fail to realize that's like about religion is that it has to be a choice.
There is no choice.
With religion?
There is no. That's no. It is a choice, but they make it seem like there is no choice.
Yeah,
It's either
it
that
has
way
to be a
or
choice.
that's it.
Which is wild. I didn't grow up like that.
That's
so
how
I
I
don't
grew up.
understand that. Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
It's like I said, it destroyed my family's relationship with me and then with me with them and then with me.
That's why you say religion played a part. I
You know
makes
what I'm saying?
sense.
So that's why I said when I say you know more about the Nigerian culture, I don't.
Yeah.
I have kids now. I still speak fluent Yoruba, fluent.
Yeah, see, I don't. That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I'm
saying.
saying?
I'm like,
Yeah, I speak fluent, but nobody would know that I'm a Nigerian born bred
I
person.
agree. I told you that at the beginning of this.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody
I was
knows
like,
that
yo,
I'm
you
fully
were born there, you
born.
were back, all that. And
Like
I'm
I
you
am
know
a Niger man to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? I was born. I am an Elisha man. You know what I mean? Like all of that.
Yeah.
You know, but the way that I am now and the way I guess you could say, assimilated to the lifestyle, you would never know that I'm from another country. Even my name Shola. That's not how I say mine. That's not the true pronunciation of my name. It's Shola. You know what I'm saying?
I was waiting. I'm like, I hope he say it.
You know what I'm saying? Come on,
say
son.
it.
You know, so
Shola.
Shola. and I just saw the change, the name change. The name change came when I came back.
Really?
Because it was Olusola.
That's
And
your full first name?
that's my full Olusola.
Hey,
Oluyide Jr.
Oluwaseun.
You know what I'm saying? That's why Elijah's middle name is Oluwaseun.
See, you never told me none of this.
Yeah, nobody knows
Which
this.
is this is crazy because we talk like we're like
It's not something I speak
outside
on.
this we're really friends. Like,
Yeah, we're really
like,
friends now.
like,
She's my homegirl.
we're
She's my
legit
homie.
friends, and we never had this conversation at all. We avoid we talk about Yoruba culture, but we avoid the personal Yoruba culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to have this conversation. This
Right.
to be the first real conversation for Kicking It With Show.
Right.
So that people really get to understand who I am. Because I know they see me in other platforms and who I show them. They don't really know the true background of who this person became.
Right,
How this
and
person
why.
came to be.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's a deeper story that I could tell, but it's not for this way. It's gonna continue to grow, and I will definitely, show more and tell you guys more, because there's so much more that I feel like people need to know and learn from.
So do all your kids have Nigerian middle names?
No,
Just Elijah?
no. Elijah is Elijah Oluwaseun Makai Muidi, and Ajani
Makai.
is Ajani Jade Muidi. So only Elijah has that. Has the middle.
Why did you choose to give it to him and not to your daughter?
It was more of a little bit of, I want to say definitely a little bit of pressure from my parents because he was the son.
God,
Just a little bit. And I was like, I got to give my
This
kids
is exactly
something.
what I was talking about.
Yeah, it's a little bit of pressure.
The man in the family.
Yeah, a little bit of
Yes.
pressure because he is the man in the family and he is the one that's passing on my name. So I couldn't give him, I wasn't going to give him Shola Jr. the third. Not doing that.
Do you see how wrong that is, though?
To what?
I don't see what I'm talking about. Zero men. You don't understand that giving him only the Nigerian name, not giving your daughters. You don't think that's I don't want to say
No,
wrong.
Ajani is a true Nigerian name. It's just we say it is Ajani.
Yeah.
Ajani is, definition is we fought for her.
Okay, what about Azalea?
Azalea is definitely an American name.
But you
It's
didn't even.
flower.
But y'all didn't even give her y'all didn't give either of them Yoruba middle names.
Nothing.
Like that.
I didn't believe in the middle name at that time. I just Azalea.
felt
Azalea
the
is
pressure
named
from-
after her aunt
But you felt the pressure because of the boy.
because of the boy.
See, that's wild. That's you don't understand. That's
I know,
that's
it's fucked
conditioned.
up.
Yeah,
It's
it's
fucked up.
conditions. It's
It's fucked
conditioned
up.
in you because
It's definitely fucked up.
you had a daughter and it was Ajani was yeah, you gave her. That was kind of
Because
that.
the
Ajani's like a
definition-
Nigerian American name.
Yeah,
So it's
depending
because
on
it's-
your pronunciation.
exactly.
But back in my parents' house,
Mhm.
they call them their Nigerian names. They have Nigerian names for my daughters.
What are
that
the
they
names?
Call them. I don't remember. I don't because we
you
don't
were
talk.
there.
So, but when they go there, my parents call them their Nigerian names. They don't call them the names that they were given.
Yeah, that's how my mom is.
You know what I'm
She knows her
saying? So it's not like
grandchildren,
they don't have Nigerian names. It's just that it's not written on their birth certificate. They have the Nigerian names
Because they gave it to them.
because they gave it to them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what it is.
Yeah.
But when it comes to achievements, disappointments, and stuff like that, how do you think, through the parents' eyes, how it affected you?
Oh, it's monumental. What? The disappointments are monumental.
Yeah.
There was times I was scared to if I slipped, my grades were always I like learning. So my grades were always just good. I never understood how other people learn or why they learned the way they did. I just knew the way I learned and why I learned the way that I did. And so I was always in advanced classes up until I started wilding out. I was in advanced classes, I was all about doing I did extra projects all the time, about everything. I wanted to learn everything. Even now I'd be up at 2:00 in the morning looking at sites and trying to asking questions like, how tall is Jesus? Like, why would like that stuff like
That's a real question.
you gotta ask everything. You gotta ask
real?
everything. Come on, you gotta see people's perspectives.
Wow.
Who knows? It could be everything on the internet. Pretty much 90% of that shit's false. But
Facts.
fuck it. Like, I want to see what
least I know
people think
something. At
about
least I
it.
know
Like,
something.
right?
Yeah,
I
you're
want to
right.
see what people say about it, so we can have conversations about it. But so my failures were definitely big, and they were big for me because I was always the person that didn't give any trouble. So I had good grades. I was always respectful. I was one of the daughters, so it was like, oh, and I'm the kind of person that's very nurturing. So I took care of, even to this day, I take care of my family. They need something. I'm the person that's like up my little sister when she had her asthma attacks, or when she had bad eczema, I was holding her hands down or trying to make sure she went to sleep.
Very motherly.
Yeah, exactly. So when I had my disappointments, it was shocking to my parents or to my mom, but it was hurtful for me because of their reaction to it.
And what was their reactions?
My mom was just, sometimes it hurts more when your parents are disappointed than when they're angry. So my mom could be angry and I back like she's angry, but if she's disappointed, I'm like, damn, yo, like you got the hands to the knee, like, damn, what did I do, yo?
Isn't that the worst? I always tell people
it's worse with Nigerians because all they do is yell at you, so they don't yell. You're like,
oh, whoa, yell at me, please.
I'll take
Matter
that.
of fact, give me an ass whooping.
You cleaning the house, you doing everything,
You gotta
like
do everything, yo.
like that's the worst.
And that's why I tell people to this day, listen, the worst, if you want to get to somebody and see their true reaction, tell them you're not hurt. Tell them you're disappointed.
It hurts.
It's
I feel
way
like it
worse.
hurts, but it hurts more. Well, in my Yoruba culture, it hurts more with the way I grew up because they yelled at you. You got a beating.
Yeah,
We did all that, like standing against the wall, all the punishments. We did.
Yo, I don't think people know what kneeling on your knees with your hands up against the wall is. And if you try to sit down,
doing the toe point, with
oh
your other leg
my
up.
God, the balancing
In front of everybody
In
too.
front of everybody.
Everybody watch you like, your leg is falling. Put it up. You cussed everybody out in your head forever.
Oh, yo, it's just
Yeah.
it's just looking at you like, damn.
Yeah,
fam.
okay.
Yeah.
So we would get beaten, and then when you were in trouble, you had to face the wall and you had to stand with your arms up in the air.
Yeah,
And you did not waver. Do you hear me? Because the eagle eye was upon you.
dude, there was no trying to sit down on your knees, sit down on your butt. On
They'd
your
be in the
heel,
next room and know that you're wavering and come out and whip you, and you got to start all over again.
all over again.
What? And when you next see your siblings, it's hard because y'all are laughing. After a while, you're
Laughing.
crying, but you're sitting there like you realize like something's happening, like you start laughing, and
Yeah.
that, whew, the swiftness.
And
of
then your body
justice.
gets numb anyways. You fall asleep.
right. You against the wall. You the wall
Yeah,
right here, your head
like,
right
yo,
here,
fuck
like-
them, yo. They be all right. They'll beat me, wake up. It is what
Right.
it is, man. Yeah, nah, hearing disappointment definitely hurt more than getting your ass whooped. I loved getting my ass whooped. I would rather get an ass whooped.
Yeah, beat me.
Yeah, beat me, please.
me.
I'll
Use the
take that all
stick,
day. And I
belt.
think that deterrence, people also don't hit your kids. I'm like, no. What you guys consider hitting was a beating for us.
Thank you.
Like canes,
Thank
all
you.
different types of canes.
Thank you.
Publicly, because in
Thank
schools I got my ass whooping like that. You get beaten from the teacher and then go home and get beaten from your parents.
Yep, the mother will tell your father. He
Yeah.
come home, beat your
Oh,
ass.
that was the worst.
There was one
Your
time,
mama whoop your ass, and then your pops come home and whoop your ass.
and that was the worst. When you heard that key jingle, you just knew.
Oh shit! You trying to be in the bedroom?
He's like, yo, I'm never,
You trying to hide? and
never
shit?
gonna live again, yo. Hiding was worse. What? The beating would intensify. You make sure you're
It's 2
visible.
a.m. Wake up
You're
with the
visible.
belt. Oh my
I'm
God.
here, father.
Oh Jesus!
Nah,
yo.
I remember one time though, like when I was like, I don't know how old I was. I had like 5th or 6th grade, and I stole from my Bradleys or something, like the little pocket diaries.
Yeah,
like I had
yeah,
like
yeah.
I had.
Oh, you
I got-
were a thief? Nah, I ain't steal.
I was a thief. No, I was a thief because I wanted to go out like.
Oh, see, mom, see, pop. I wasn't that bad.
I was definitely that thief.
I wasn't stealing.
And
Oh, shit.
and I went home. Like my mom beat me, and I went home, and she beat me, and I was like, whatever. Like that's when I started wilding out.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever. Like yo, leave me
And
alone,
I-
whatever. And we had bunk beds,
Oh.
and I went to sleep because you get a beating. You tired. Like
tired.
I'm worn. I'm
You did
weak.
a whole bunch
I'm
of
weak.
moving around.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm weak. I'm worn. So I'm gonna take this nap. We good though. You beat me. No disappointment. You beat me. You know I
You
steal.
back at it tomorrow.
Listen, I can't remember if it was John's mom or it was someone's mom that like I remember hearing people come in the room, and I had just started stirring. Open my eye, and all I saw was a hand reach up and grab me. And when I tell you I flew It was a mother. It wasn't even a father. It was somebody's mom.
Oh yeah.
To the ground.
The whole village is coming.
They all beat me.
Oh yeah.
Turks. Yo, I watched the sunset. I was still getting my ass beat.
Damn.
My mom was she was at the time. It was like my father had just left like recently, so it was like my mom was, she had pressure. Like, your kids aren't gonna be nothing.
Of course.
The father left. They're not gonna be. You can't raise 4 kids, and I go ahead and do something like that. I got beaten for hours. And the disappointment was rage. The disappointment was like, you're the one who gets A's. Do you want to be? Are you stupid? And you know they do this, it hurts.
Of
like,
course.
Damn, I'm dumb. I'm dumb.
Oh,
Damn, right.
On,
Yo, I got my ass beat for hours. But the funny thing about that is that kids nowadays, when someone beats them like that, they're like, oh, fuck them. Da, 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 da. After that, I respected all of them.
You have to.
Respected all of them.
Yeah.
To this day, I never did
No
anything
disrespect.
I never did anything again to make them that disappointed in me.
Yeah.
Ever. Because I'm these people who support me, the people who
That's love.
who pray for me,
Yeah.
who, when I get my little 20, when they sign me to go 20 and whatnot.
So would you say that because of the tough love that we grew up on, it's made us stronger and better people as an adult?
It depends on how you take it.
Okay.
It depends on how you take it, and you have to have a certain level of understanding for it. As you get older, as you transition from a child into a teen or whomever, because when you're a child, you don't understand it.
No,
you're not going to
no.
have that. You just tired of getting your ass beat. When you become a teenager, you start realizing, you're understanding things.
Yeah.
So you have to create that space for yourself to understand why I'm getting beat. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Depending on who your parents are, if they're just beating you for no reason, or if you're actually getting beaten because you're doing something wrong. But even as I get older, like I don't beat my nephews. I think I tapped my nephew once. I hit him with like a shirt or something, like on his butt.
We always gotta flank something,
right?
Yeah.
But like,
up, fam. Damn.
I'm not opposed to
ass whoopings.
Disciplining. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it.
And I feel like this generation doesn't understand the levels that there are to ass whoopings. Like when I spank my kids as a last result.
Right.
Like it's not like they do something bad that I'm just gonna hit them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm spanking them, I'm hitting them on the butt with my hand because I'm not gonna beat them the way I got beat because that was unnecessary.
Yes.
I feel like they're not tough. They don't have that toughness to them to take that kind of beating.
Right.
You know,
like levels. You're right.
There's levels. We
right.
grew up with that toughness.
Yes.
Like from the we were the babies, we were getting beat like that. Like
Yes.
people don't understand. Like in school, you got the fact that you got hit with a cane and different levels of canes, and you know if the teacher takes the thick one, oh, all right, cool, I can take that. That's not a problem. It's gonna sit on my skin and be off. But when you get the flexible ones, it's gonna feel like you just got hit by 20 of them.
Yeah.
You know, like there's levels on understanding.
Curves on the
Yeah.
skin. It just hugs it. Like
you get hit 6 times and 12 lines will show up on your back.
Yo,
you
legit.
know, and like I got beat like that. You know, to the point where sometimes I blacked out. Like I will never forget a time where I got beat in front of the school, an entire school, because public assembly in the morning. That's how it was back home.
That's child abuse.
You know,
like,
me and my mans, me and my friends at the time, we had done something, whatever. I don't know what it was, whatever. Right. And we had to get, it was just normal. Kids got beat every day in front of everybody, and taking a beating was more of a manly challenge. Boys and girls.
Right.
You know, you better not cry.
Tough skin, yeah.
Take that. You know what I'm saying? So we took it. 24 strokes from the best beater in the school. It was the teacher.
Recruited, yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Recruited.
Like when you wait to see who they're gonna call to see how hard you have to, mentally prepare yourself.
Like, oh, he coming, we good, we on this side.
Right. Is soft. They ain't
We
even
good,
ready
we
for
good.
this. You know what I'm saying? But when they called this certain teacher, he was the English teacher and a Yoruba teacher. So he was like, and he was short. So I already knew when they called him, we were fucked.
He had that rage.
He had that rage. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I understood because he had us in class. So I knew me and his rapport already with the rest of my goon squad. We was already the troublemakers. So he was excited. Like, y'all gotta understand, teachers get excited from time to time to whoop your ass.
They be holding back. That's why.
Yeah.
They want to beat your ass all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
They don't want to get fired.
Wrong answer, beating.
Beating.
You came in with your hair uncombed, beating. But they can't do it. So they're like, they wait for that one opportunity to be
they
like,
want to fuck you up. Just know that off the rip. That's why I can never be a teacher in America. I'll fuck up a kid.
The same. My sister's a teacher. My oldest is a teacher, and I was like, I don't know how.
I can't do it. The way we grew up, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put hands on
I'm
somebody's
beating your
kid.
child. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Wild disrespectful.
Period.
I couldn't take it.
Period.
So he came, and he's flogging my. This is what we call flogging. This is legit flogging. This ain't even beating. This is a flogging here, guys. Like what y'all see in like Kuta Kente movies and slave movies and all that shit.
Yeah,
that's legit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but without the chains.
Yeah,
you on the ground willingly, straight, prostrated on the floor with your face down and your back. You know, we didn't take off our clothes, but it's thin shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's not enough cushion to save
enough
you.
Cushion. There's no.
You can't be saved.
No matter if you wear 2-3 shirts, that shit's going through you.
You can't be saved.
There's no safeness.
Right.
He beat us all. Oh man,
beat us all.
He beat us all. He beat the nonsense out of all of us. I woke up in the nursery.
Did he?
Because I got up to 19 before I blacked out.
And you almost made it.
Almost made it.
You saw the finish line and it was it.
Hey. Guess what? I was the toughest nigga. You know
you had all the.
Yo, son,
like I made it. I made it longer.
Yeah, I didn't move. I didn't budge. I just took it.
That's the hardest thing to not move.
Nothing.
It's the hardest thing to do.
I wasn't gonna give him nothing.
You can take a beating, but if you can take a beating without moving,
I ain't give him nothing.
Yo, it's hard as shit to do.
I ain't give him nothing, and I think that's why now I don't give nothing to nobody, because that really solidified me. Like, all right, cool. I can deal with. I think that's why my biggest thing is whatever I'm going through in life, I'll be okay because of the beatings like that.
You definitely have that attitude.
You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck out of here. I'll be fine.
I mean, that can work with you, but it can also be detrimental.
Oh, as a younger Shola,
yeah,
definitely detrimental because I stood in my own way of a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got in my own way because of my hard-headedness.
Yes.
Stubbornness was a big factor. It's a big personality trait of mine
that
I'm learning to pause on and just look at things, step back, look at things properly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's an adult thing, though. When you get to a certain age, you're like, okay, life ain't going the way it needs to go right now.
Right.
You know, I need to
how I look at this.
rearrange things. So I would definitely say that growing up African, growing up Nigerian, growing up as a Yoruba man in a religious household, our difference is definitely that religious aspect. We got everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But you stuck through in a sense of it's made you a better person. Like, even with the ups and downs, you're well-rounded.
You have to learn from it.
Yeah.
That's the only way to live life in general, though.
Period.
I feel like Yoruba, having any culture teaches you that if you have the space to understand it. Any culture. So, but you have to understand that you have to gain that understanding from it, because if you don't, you're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die inside.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna understand why were you getting beaten, or why were there disappointments, why were they so monumental, or why do I have to go through certain things, or why me, why? You're like you said, that's slow suicide. You're slowly killing yourself, and you can't let that happen. You have to learn how to understand it so that you can grow from it. You gotta take that and turn it into a seed. Period. Turn it into fertilizer. Turn it into water. Something, but it got to be something besides what it is.
So how do you balance who you are now versus who you are expected to be not as an adult? I would transition into who you are as a woman now.
So when I was younger, I was expected to be a good girl.
Yeah.
Throughout life. Period. You know what I'm saying? No sex you had sex after marriage.
Trash.
Especially because our parents weren't like that. It's like, you're teaching this, but did you?
You wasn't thoughtin'?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. But based on who, I didn't realize that I was supposed to be a certain way initially, I guess the way other Nigerians do, because I had other sisters. I had an older sister and an older brother.
Okay.
So they were the people that had the more pressure on who to be and when to be that person. With my older sister, now she has the kid, it turned to me like, when are you having your kids? And the pressure goes with you for the rest of your life. No matter what you do. Are you going to school? Okay, you finished school. You going to grad school? Okay, did you get a good job? Okay, do you live alone? You live with a roommate. Why? Oh, you have a man? You have a boyfriend? When are you getting married? When are you having kids?
So much.
It literally follows you throughout your life. And I was expected to be the person to settle down, have a kid, get my PhD, in one of the sciences that they liked, or you might be a doctor or whatever. And who I am now is different in the sense of I care more about who I am internally than externally.
Okay.
So I care more about how I'm feeling about things. And that's how I've always been. I don't think I wouldn't have made it in the sciences or anything like that, because I'm more
You're
of
an artsy person. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a liberal arts person.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the word.
And I did marketing, the reason I did marketing is because I like the psychology behind marketing. Like how people think, like why did that attract you?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And so who I am now, and so my mom had to learn with us. I give credit to my mom. So I have my own typical Yoruba household, but my mom changed, or she shifted, where a lot of households, their mother and the parents, they don't change with the children. They just stay who they are.
She adapted.
Yes, and she still has. Don't get me wrong. She
Of
still has a
course.
lot of her
There's the
like
core,
stubborn
yeah,
ways.
yeah.
That's like, Ma, like
But she
you're
was able
forcing
to
it.
maneuver with you guys to help you guys develop into,
Exactly. She
adults.
had patience with us and try to understand who we were as individuals
Mm.
because she had no choice but to.
I think that's more of a. I don't want to seem sexist, but I think that's like a mother thing when there's no man in the picture. To debo things.
I know some people's mothers who are rigid. And they didn't change at all from who they were 10, 20 years ago to who they are now, and they're probably going to die the same way.
That might be my mom. That might be my
So
mom.
that
might be my mom. Yeah.
It happens and it doesn't happen.
They're softer, but not with me. They're softer with my siblings. That's because they're doing what what they're doing. Though.
Yeah, my mom was more of a. My mom had basic things like she didn't demand too much. It was like be a good person. Always do good.
Yeah.
And she got that from her mother, where it was like always do good. If you're doing bad, that speaks to what you're going through inside and and it shouldn't be like that.
Preach, yo, that's deep.
Right, and so
That's
my mom,
legit.
she always watches us. Even now, I can see her being like, "How is she gonna react?" Like I've seen people come at my mother, and my mother will look at me like, "Chill." I've seen her eye like, "Don't get up, don't act out," because she knows my temper is like
Crazy.
My mom?
Yeah.
My mother? Whose mother are you talking to? Not my mother. So she would look. The person could be in her face, and she'd look at me immediately. She didn't even care. She'd just be like, don't sit down, behave
Relax,
yourself.
yeah.
Because she wants better for her child. Where if it was me and I had a child, I'd be like, get your black ass up.
You better handle that business.
Tag me in. Okay? Tag me in.
I legit tell my kids all the time, don't make me fuck up somebody's parents because you got beat up.
That's how I feel.
You know what I'm saying? You need to handle that business
Legit.
immediately, yo.
My mom was also the kind of person that was like, don't you let nobody put their hands on you.
Ever.
Like, don't. If you come back, if you came in the house and someone beat your ass, she'd beat you.
Yep.
And I felt I thought it was an American thing at first, and I realized, I'm like, nah. My mom was like, who did you fight? Oh, this. I used to fight boys all the time. She'd be like, I'm like, this boy did this. She's like, where? The Boys and Girls Club. Go. Don't come back to this house until you finish that person.
I respect your mom's shit.
Until you finish that person. What do you mean until I finish that? What, you want me to kill him or?
Nah,
can
you
I do
put
that?
pause on him.
Yeah. So go back.
Yeah.
And she could always tell. My mom could always, you can tell the kids if you won or you lost.
Yeah.
So there was no lying. Like, I beat his ass. No, you're lying. Go back and finish that person. Why are you here?
Energy don't match. Your energy don't match.
And she would do that like, like the dog section. She'd be like,
well, she was teaching you to be strong. Be able to stand up for yourself.
I'm definitely a strong woman because of who my mother is and because of who my grandmother was. My grandmother we have the same temperament, same temper issues.
That's beautiful. See, for me, it was don't fight. I mean, don't ever fight. Like my dad was fine with me getting my ass beat.
What?
Yeah,
Never.
he was like, because he grew up that way. Because he was always the one I got like, this nigga grew up as a fighter. Like it's in our genes. Like, you know how when your family members tell stories about your tribe and all of that, like my bloodline is warriors.
Yeah.
You know
I can see that in y'all build.
Yeah.
Your father's build, all y'all build is like
everybody
that.
in my family, we just have a build like we can handle ourselves.
Yes.
Right? And so I never understood when he would tell me stories about him fighting so much and getting his ass whooped consistently growing up, but he had to always fight because he would fight the strongest dude in the school, but that motherfucker would always come back every day. So he was getting his ass whooped every day. But
that's how you learn how to fight.
And learn how to fight. But
Yeah.
his pops was just and my grandfather, he was a calm dude to me. He was always had a cool demeanor. You know what I'm saying? But my dad was like, nah, that nigga was putting hands on me, son. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I understood it. So I'm like, I never understood why he would tell me, don't fight. I'm like, my nigga, so you want me to get my ass beat out here? Nah, fam.
Right. Can't happen.
Can't have that. Can't have that. Now,
Can't happen.
he knows I had no problem coming home, get my ass beat. As long as I knew niggas ain't fuck with me at the school.
And they wouldn't, because if you had enough balls to go up to the biggest person or the toughest person.
Oh, I never look for problems. That's the thing about me. Like, I'm not a confrontational person. It was always fight. The same thing that happened to him growing up. He never looked for problems. Problems always found him. Like, bullies would come and find because you always minding your business, always just being cool, cordial with motherfuckers.
So they wanted to bully you.
So they always want to bully you,
That's
thinking they
how
can
it
just
is.
push you around. Now, there's certain niggas that I would let get their way because I know they were bitch ass niggas and it might kill me on a ride home. You know what I'm saying? You know those type of niggas?
Yes.
Where just like, you know what? Get your swing on.
Right.
Do what you gotta do. But everybody knows if I wanted to really fight you, I would fuck you up. Because I've already shown that I can handle my business.
Right.
But as I got older, and I think now that as I got older, everybody saw that, okay, I have an aggressive demeanor. That made me a very aggressive person. Like the way I talk, the way I handle it, because one, I'm not 6'3". I have a short man complex. Where everybody feels like they can just step to me and talk crazy. So
definitely.
You have to automatically bark, and your bark has to be huge.
Yeah, it do. It gotta be final.
It gotta be final.
So you
There's
don't go any further.
ifs or buts about it.
Definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
and I feel like that alienated me a lot growing up with people because they didn't know how to gauge me at all. I feel like because of that, even my friends would be like, "Oh, we can't bring him a certain thing because we don't know how he's gonna react." Not knowing I'm cool headed all the time. It's just you're not gonna disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna try to punk me in front of people or try to embarrass me in front of a shorty and think that it's gonna be a-okay. It's not gonna be a-okay.
Right.
Now, as an adult, obviously, I don't behave like that way. You know, you as you've told me before, my demeanor is different now.
Definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
more calm.
Definitely.
You know, more calm, more relaxed. And I feel like people who are now meeting me don't know the past. So they might look at me in a certain way of, oh, he's too nice. I'm like, no, my nigga. This is...
See, I don't even think... I think you think people look at you like that, but you definitely have an aggressive demeanor regardless.
So it still comes off?
Even when you don't mean it. Even when you don't mean it, it seems aggressive.
Really?
Prime example. Last week when I got out the car and you were like, niggas come go inside and get the fuck on. Come in the house. My brother was like... That's your friend? Yo. my brother dropped me off and was like, yo, you good? You sure you want to? I'm like, yeah, sure. What the fuck you talking about? Like, but I didn't realize that you still had that because I don't see it or because I'm so used to it. I don't know whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you still had that same mentality of other people. My brother was like, yo, you good? Like,
I'm homeless, yo.
You sure you want to?
I'm a homeless
Right,
nigga,
like, you
man.
sure you want to go? He's married? I'm like, yeah, like relax, yo. Like, that's how he talk. That's how he move. That's how he talk.
That is how I talk. I feel like people didn't understand that when you hear me speak, it might seem aggressive. It is very aggressive because of how I grew up.
Yeah.
You know, I
That's
have to make my tone final.
Yeah, exactly.
There has to be a stamp on
Final,
it. I
yes.
can't let you think that I'm allowing room for disrespect.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Because I give respect 24/7. Whether I know you or not, the respect is always number one. Because that's how we grew up.
Right.
Everything is respect.
Respect, definitely.
Whether I
Number
know
one.
you, I don't know
Number
you,
one.
whether I've heard of you or not,
Number one.
respect is number one. So I give that out immediately. Like, hey, this is all respect. You cross that, then we're going to have a problem.
See, I feel like I'm confrontational in the sense where I will allow room for disrespect because I want all the reasons to beat your ass. Legit.
But you're a shorty. I ain't trying to go to jail.
Like, legit.
I'm trying to keep it kosher.
Give
like
me
with
a
niggas.
reason because I need that reason to be able to get to the point where I can beat your ass.
Yeah, see,
Now,
I
that
don't
I'm
want to fight
older.
anymore. I don't want to have to put hands on anybody
Yeah,
unnecessarily.
I don't got time for that.
Yeah,
Get
I
out my
don't wanna
face.
do that at
Get out
this
my
age.
face. I'm not going to jail for you.
Yeah, no,
like,
I don't want to do all. I don't want to do all that.
But back then, I used to.
What advice would you pass on to other immigrants coming from other countries, from other third world countries, whether it's from Africa or anywhere else, and about dealing with life here and how to take their upbringing and help them assimilate into the lifestyle here?
I feel like when you're younger, you have to. If you're from a different culture, you grow up faster. America is definitely an enabling country. They have oh, you can't afford this, we'll give you assistance. Oh, you need welfare, we'll give you this. Oh, you need affordable housing, we'll give you this. Oh, you need help in school, here's your tutor. Or you need like counseling, here's a counselor. It's not like that in most cultures.
No,
beyond your culture, it's fight or flight, or you sink or swim.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, like you legit, if you sink or swim, like if you don't make it, that's
They're
exactly.
gonna throw you in the water. If the sharks eat you, my nigga, I guess you wasn't strong enough.
Exactly.
Perfect example. I don't know if you ever seen that movie 300.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all know the beginning when they were testing the babies out?
Yep.
That's our culture.
Legit.
That's our culture.
Like legit.
So
Legit.
you might not be dangling babies and shit, but how strong is your backbone?
And you have to have that. But it's both a blessing and a curse. You have to have that backbone, but you also have to allow you grow up faster because of that.
Yeah.
So you also have to growing up faster, not only in the mentality where it's I have to be this kind of person, but also growing up mentally and acknowledging that you have to understand why you're being trained this way.
Yeah.
And you're not going to understand or know how it's going to affect you later on in life. You just have to know that it's going to help you. And you have to keep that positivity in your mind because if you don't, you will stink.
You will listen.
Legit.
I will speak from personal experience for you guys. I was in a deep, deep, dark place for a very long time because of my anger towards my upbringing, towards my parents, towards everybody except myself. You know, you have to really dig deep inside yourself and figure out what's wrong with you.
And that only comes with a certain level of understanding.
Understanding, you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
a lot of my parents like conversations. I look back on, I'm like, okay, they could have done things differently, but I also could have reacted differently.
And just knowing that they're also human.
Yeah,
They're
they
not
make
going to be
mistakes.
perfect. Yeah,
They're
they're not going to.
Yeah,
They're not going to conform to who you're supposed to be and who to
exactly.
talk to.
They're
Yeah,
already stuck in their ways. They're old as fuck.
exactly.
So you have to learn how to maneuver around their upbringing.
Definitely.
And people might look at me like, yeah, you went back home and all of that, but you have to just understand, out of all of my siblings, I'm the only one that can stand on my own too. So even though they sent me back home, they sent me back home to learn. I did learn.
Mm-hmm.
I did come to realize I was smart, because Nigeria is all about education and all about competition.
You smart or stupid.
You smart or stupid.
There's
What
no
number
middle
are you
ground.
in your class? Oh,
Yep.
you number one? Bet.
Yep.
If there's 25 people in the class and you 20, nigga.
Yep.
There's no respect given.
Even in the middle, like
Even
at
in the middle.
15. Why are you at 15? You should both be number one.
It's always a competition. So when you guys see Africans and they're excelling in the way they're excelling, it's because the household that they grew up in, it's all about position. Position of power is everything. If you read the 50 powers of law on the books like that, it's all about understanding where you stand in life.
And I think that's what Africans don't get enough praise for that, for being smart. That's
No.
everyone talks about, like the Asians, like, oh, the Asians are smart. And it's like,
Nah,
have y'all seen what Africans are building right now?
building right now.
To this day,
Yeah, what con artists we do it, but if you're letting a prince from over there con you, you're the dumbass.
who's smart and who's stupid?
smart? Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, come on,
I got
like,
your money though.
Hustling. You guys just go to stores and buy what the price says. We haggle back home.
Yep.
Haggling is a skill.
Yep.
Like that's trade by barter. That's how you learn how to deal in business. That's why when third world country people come here, they survive and they become blessed.
They take nothing at face
Take
value.
nothing at face value.
They're like, nah, there's more.
You know,
I can
you guys say
get a better benefit.
You barely met a poor Asian or poor African. Ask yourself why.
But people don't commend Africans enough though. It's
No, they
always-
don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
It's always like, yeah, I haven't met a poor Asian. It's like, okay.
Have you met a poor African before? You know what I mean? I haven't.
Even if
We
they're-
might be poor, but you have to understand, we're also at the stage that our parents were at the age that we're at now.
And even if you are poor, you ain't gonna know because I got pride.
I got pride.
Africans got pride.
Yeah.
Listen, they would roll up.
Yeah.
They would put on their best frock.
Best frock.
It could be the same when they wore for the year, but guess what?
Yeah.
It's pressed.
Yeah.
It's clean.
Y'all might not see me in my African garments and my agbada and all that other stuff, but I am a Nigerian man to the core. You know what I mean? You guys might not see me doing the Nigerian celebrations and all that. That's because I didn't grow up with it. So I don't celebrate things that I don't understand or I wasn't part of growing up. So do I want to be a part of it? Not really, because I don't care for it. I didn't grow up on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not affecting me like that. But I am a proud Nigerian man.
And that circles back to just the advice, like just be proud of who you are.
Proud of who you
Even
are.
at times when you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Because I didn't grow up in a white garment church. I joined that white garment church when I was teens, like in high school.
And it's helped you develop into a smart, beautiful woman.
It's put me in a community where thank you, Sean.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
I was
yes,
hoping
yes,
you catch that.
yes,
I was hoping you catch
I was like,
that.
oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Because we've known each other for years. And
Definitely.
who you are back then to who you are now, we've both grown.
I
We've
feel like you
blossomed.
have to, that's what I'm saying, you have to allow your space to take whatever we've been through the past
Yeah.
to plant that and grow. So giving advice to somebody is like, be happy with who you are, be happy with your culture, find the good things in it because it's always good in life. Always good in life.
Yeah.
And just try to be at the same time, be aware and be knowledgeable and be accepting
And pay
of who you are.
attention.
Definitely.
Pay attention.
Definitely.
You know, it's my father used to say something to me, and I've been doing this a whole lot now as I have my own kids, as I'm moving around. Don't walk around blindly. You know, we grew up in a culture of juju magic and all the other stuff.
Oh yeah, very much live.
You know, so you have to. So he would always. That's one thing that he always like put in my mind. Like just don't think what you see is what you see.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You have to understand
Absolutely.
underlying powers at B that are doing things.
Yep.
We don't really have control. We only control maybe 1% of our lives. So all your actions, you have to look at it like, what's the long term effects of this?
Yes.
You know, you always hear me say, give me a second. I gotta figure that out. I can't be having that happen all the time. That's trash. It's fucking up my whole shit. But I always say that I will never do anything that I can't deal with the consequences of. You You know what I'm saying? Like if
I
I can deal
agree.
with, you know what I'm saying? If I can deal with the consequences, I'll fuck
agree.
with it.
I agree. I'll do it.
I'll do it.
I try anything once.
Yeah,
You know
I'll
what I mean?
try it once.
Twice.
You know, if the consequences, if I weigh the pros and the cons, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna have a good time, but if something fucks up, can I deal with it? If my whole body is in agreement, oh yeah, we making it hot.
Yeah. I feel that.
You know,
It's like a subconscious thing.
it's
Like,
subconscious.
Can I do this?
It's a conversation you have to have with your,
Yeah.
and you have to know what you can deal with. I feel like you really have to know who you are.
Yep.
You
True.
have to know your strengths, your weaknesses, and all of that.
And a lot of people don't, especially if you don't. And I feel terrible saying this, but if you don't have culture,
Yeah.
you fall through the cracks. And they want to know why
You
people
fall
are
for
like,
anything.
you want to know people are crazy or why they can't. I feel like they can't accomplish anything, and why there's so much medication on the market and all these things. And it's
All
like
this depression is because people don't know who they are.
pretty much.
You're going through a lot of questions in your head. You're doubting yourselves.
Yeah.
And we all doubt ourselves. Nobody's perfect. And I feel like this whole mental illness thing, a lot could be going on.
Definitely.
You know, we all have our own mental issues.
Definitely.
I mean, don't think it's we're telling you the positive things about culture. That is some fucked up shit that's happening.
Because Africans will ignore mental illness.
we don't even know what that is.
Exactly. Just pray. You're not praying enough. There's people who are going through worse.
That's the African American culture too. And that's one of the things that I hated growing up. Is like, don't be like that Akata, but I'm like, that Akata is the same motherfucker like you.
Y'all exactly the same.
Exactly the
That's what it
same.
is. Y'all exactly the same. But at least with African Americans, they're willing now to accept that there's like medication for therapy, not even medication.
Yeah.
Just therapy.
It's a conversation
Talk
that's
about
being
it.
had now.
You can't
It's
talk. You can't talk about it as an African unless
No.
it's court ordered.
Yeah.
That was the only time we ever talked about like what's going on
And
with
we
my
need to
parents.
change that.
It was court ordered.
We
Absolutely.
need to change that.
Absolutely.
We need to talk to our kids. Talk to your parents. Your parents should talk to you. There has to be dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely. My nephew, I talked to my nephew. He's 8 years old, and I've been calling him my bestie since he was born. I made sure he knew in his head I'm his best friend.
That he can talk to you.
And he does.
And without judgment
He
too.
does. He
It's
does.
a judgment-free zone. Yeah, I might be
does.
upset, but we can have the conversation.
And you have to watch how people like my nephew knows that like his parents might get upset with him, and he shuts down when you get upset with him. So it teaches me patience. Where I'm like, well, why did you do that? What was you have to ask questions.
I'm still
and
learning
pull it
that
out.
big time.
That's a life. If you have kids, because I don't have kids. It's my
God.
nephew, but that's a lifetime thing for you.
Lifetime.
That's never gonna change. You're never gonna learn how to do that and be like an ace at it.
Azalea is a problem for me. My middle child.
It's always one.
Is she, man?
It's always one.
Because I'm not used to, like I
always
said,
one.
that erratic behavior.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody who accepts that. Because I feel like I said before, that to me is because somebody allowed it. And today, actually, Crystal was like, my wife, she's like, well, girls grow up like that because their fathers just kind of washed them away. It was just like, you know what? I'm not dealing with that, instead of figuring out the way to deal with that.
That's very true.
And that hit me.
It's the truth.
And I was like, damn, have I really not tried to figure out a way to communicate with her, to reach her? You know what I'm saying? And I realized I haven't.
Yeah. It's true, especially with your demeanor in general as a person.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, what you're going through isn't that bad. Relax.
Relax.
And that's it.
Relax.
There's no like, you literally shut that period after relax is the true period. Like there's nothing else under that.
I'm not giving her room to wiggle.
Exactly.
You know? And she's a very hypersensitive person.
Well, she's gonna challenge you first of your life, bro.
You know, and I'll be sitting there like, yo, you know what? Go deal with your moms. I ain't really.
See, you can't do that.
It's very dismissive.
Because she's gonna do that with every other man she meets in
Yes,
her life, or any other relationship she has with a male. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna try to get the attention from them that she couldn't get from you.
Me. I mean, they get the attention, but with the way
In that
it's
manner.
everything.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, you're so over the top, dog. Like, Jesus. Like, just relax.
But you gotta talk to her and understand why she's like that, and then explain to her why she shouldn't
Very
be,
true.
or how to deal with that. That way she can talk. When she
Some
gets older,
days-
dealing with men, she'll not do it herself.
Some days I do that. Other days I'm like, I ain't really got time for all this
You
shit
got
like
to
that.
every day of your life, every day.
day.
Because what's gonna happen is she gonna challenge you if she sees
I'm
you do
very
it every day.
transparent with y'all, man. I am a growing person. You know, this is a learning process for all of us.
Grow.
Meaning, I'm a
You've
young
definitely
parent.
grown.
You know,
You've definitely
young
grown.
Parent, you know, grew up in an aggressive, environment. So having a child that's not like that, or doesn't understand that, or doesn't even want to understand that, just wants to, karate chop you every fucking
Yep.
second. It's like, yo,
Beat up by the kids.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go. My natural instinct is to be defensive too, and to attack.
But that's based on the way you grew up.
Yeah, that's based on for me.
Those are your kids, though.
Exactly.
You can't.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm
those are
saying?
your kids.
Like Johnny knows, I fuck her up.
Johnny's just like you, though.
Just
You
like
you
me.
can't even.
But
Johnny
she got
can't.
mouth. See, Azalea's the fighter, and Johnny's the mouth. So if Johnny's talking shit, Zillie's behind her because she gotta protect her Johnny from fight.
That's
crazy.
That's word.
That
was me. That was me and my sister. I don't like to argue. I rather fight.
Zillie
My older
really
sister
throw
had the
hands.
mouth, and I was the one that was like, "Move."
Yeah, we should trying to figure
Move.
out. And Elijah now. Happy birthday to you, my guy. That's today's
Happy
my
birthday,
son's.
Elijah.
Yeah.
That's my little boyfriend.
Today's my son's birthday. He's 3 today.
My little boyfriend.
He's a fighter too. He's ready to go. You know, but he's little. He's still young. But when we get together, he's not afraid to swing
Yeah, because y'all be fighting all the time.
all the time.
Crystal, we were corny. I'm like, how you just watching this?
Yeah,
I was like,
just,
Crystal, you good?
just got
Like, how
to.
you? Yeah,
Gotta toughen him up. He's light skinned too. I don't want them to have that light
I
skin.
know he is light
You gotta
skinned.
have a dark skin heart.
He got that. He got.
I want him to have a dark skin heart. You know what I'm saying? Like we ready to go. But yeah. Thank you for this.
I mean, no problem. I hope we covered enough for people to actually learn from our culture without judging us, because we do get judged a lot.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah. Hope you guys learned a lot from this. I know we didn't cover everything. It's very, very vast.
There's too much to cover. There's
too
way
much.
too much. You'd have to talk about everything on literally levels, like by age.
Yeah, definitely.
At
by
8,
age.
it was
yeah,
this.
Yeah,
10,
definitely.
Yeah.
We just wanted to cover, the mains, of how we grew up and all of that, how it's impacted our upbringing to where we are now as adults.
Yes.
And I think that we did a good job today.
I hope so.
You
I hope
know?
people learn. People learn from us, and both Africans and non-Africans alike.
Yeah, man.
I hope that they understand.
And this is, the first episode of Kicking It With Show. I hope you guys enjoyed
Kicking it.
the vibe, great conversation and learning. Hope you guys took something from this, because that's the whole purpose for this, that I decided to do this. Is Kicking It With Show is about learning. It's about seeing people personal lives, how they became the person that they are.
Yes.
And where they are now, and why and the development that they're still going through, because we are all growing every day. So you might see me on other platforms and everything. Who you see there is also who I am. That's all. Nobody's
Just one thing. Yeah,
We're all multifaceted. So I always see artists and even the radio personalities give you that regular cliche, conversation.
Yes.
No, I want to get deep. I want to really know you. I want to really see your perspective on things, and that's what this Kicking It With show is all about. And I wanted to really open up my lifestyle, my Nigerian, my Yoruba upbringing, and I feel like Mimi was the best person to talk to.
I definitely learned a lot about you that I had no idea about. I'm like, what?
There's a lot.
I know you. Why don't I know this?
Yeah, there's a whole lot about me that people don't understand.
Yes.
Don't know, because I'm a very private person.
Absolutely. To a fault.
To a fault.
To an absolute fault. But you're more. I mean, I guess you're more open now, and I'm glad that people are able to look at this Kicking It With show, and people listen to your other stuff and your other things that you've been a part of, and they have an idea of who you are based on like who you married or your persona and how you act, and they hear this, and I'm like, what I'm trying to say is that I actually learn from you as well. Like you learn from me, they learn from me.
It should be a tit for tat.
Absolutely. Connection.
It's all about connecting the dots.
Definitely.
This is all about connecting the dots.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so many personalities in the city that people should hear about, because they're the ones making the noise, or on certain platforms, but they're not bringing you in.
If you're gonna say something, say something.
Say something.
That's what it is.
Yeah, let it mean
My
something.
grandmother always said, if you don't say something, say something.
Let it be something that other people can take something from it.
Life
be a
is
learning
all about
process, because we should all be growing through this.
Life is all about connecting.
That's it.
That's it.
That's what networking is, right?
Yep. Once you realize that, though, life is so much easier.
So much easier.
Because you always think it's just you going through something.
Yeah.
Or life's about connecting. You gotta help each other grow.
Yeah, gotta help each other grow. Like this
That's it.
ways, like people that I never would have spoken to before, I'm now cool with.
Yeah.
Because we'll
I
come
agree.
to understand each other, and
I
the way
agree.
we communicate with each
Same.
other. Now we know, like, hey, you can come straight forward to me. You don't
Yep.
have to beat around the bush.
Right.
I'm a straightforward type of nigga.
Yep. Same.
I don't have time for that.
Okay.
But thank you for this.
Of course. It
You
was
know,
a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on here.
This has been awesome. Hope you guys love it.
Definitely.
We'll have more coming up soon. Another episode later on. So this is definitely episode 1.
I mean, I'm here for I'm number one.
Intro, baby.
Yoruba, we have to be number one.
You have to be.
I'm number
you know
one.
how to do it right. You
A
know how
plus,
to do
plus,
it right.
plus.
You
You
know
know
how
what
to
I'm
do it
saying?
right.
You know
You know what I'm saying? So holla at y'all. We'll catch y'all next time.
All right.
Thank you for joining Kicking It With show.
Be blessed.
It's your
Be
whole
blessed,
show.
y'all.
Mimi.
Be blessed.
Actually, tell me your full name before we go.
Oh, God, why is
Yeah,
everybody
tell me
asking?
your full. I told him my full name.
Olubunmi. You got to. It's like Shola. It always goes up at the end.
Always.
Olubunmi. I have a ton of middle names. I gotta say all of them.
Nah, don't do
Oh,
all
okay,
that.
good. Because I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, don't do all that.
But
That's
my
too
last
long.
name's
We got
real
time for that.
British. But like Olubunmi means gift from God
Mm.
or God's gift. And once I learned that when I was younger, I tried to be that in people's lives.
That's it.
I mean, the way that they need me to be, not the way that I want to be in their lives, but the way that they need me to be in their lives. And
now, where are you at?
I feel like I'm there. I feel like I try with people. I feel like if I'm not trying or if I'm not being who I need to be in their lives, I ask them, what do you need from me? As a friend or as a person or as a lover or as a daughter, as an auntie, what do you need from me? And then I see if I can do it, if I can provide that. And if I can't, then I can't. And I explain why. But, you know, I'm only human. You can only do so much. But I told you, I believe in the power of connecting with people because everything you do, the small, even a glance in the street affects somebody.
Yeah.
And so you want to be, I'm not saying you got to be perfect.
Creatures.
Yeah, exactly.
Very complex.
You don't got to be perfect, but just know that you do have the power to influence somebody.
Yeah.
Whether you want to believe that or not.
Yeah.
And so I try to make sure that I can be who I can be for myself and for them.
That's it. Once again, thank you. Last word of the day. Just put your best foot forward.
Absolutely.
Do unto others. Like that saying, do unto others as you want done to yourself is legit.
Always do good in this life.
Because karma always returns.
Okay.
You know, I don't understand what Love and Hip Hop is showing y'all and teaching y'all and all the other shit out here, but karma is real.
Pick up a book and read.
The energy you put out is the energy you will receive. You know, so you get what you give.
Pretty much. And you can't control anybody else's reactions or
None.
actions towards you. Reactions or actions. People tend to focus on the reaction or actions.
You cannot tell nobody how to react based on your actions.
Or act towards you. They're just going to be who they need to be. You got to focus on how you react.
So
that's it.
Thank you guys. See you guys soon.
Thank you for having me.